Love is hard. That's the lesson of today's vlog. Hard. Um, you know, girlfriend, my partner, she asked me, know, um, how I've been doing so much better recently in our relationship. Like, at first, I'd never really been in like a long-term relationship, and a lot of things I had to work through. I had to learn how people worked and whatnot better. I think I've learned a lot along the way, but one of the things she asked me a few days ago is, it seems like one day you just like snapped and changed. Like, that I'm not complaining. It's been way better, but I just don't know how you, like, how that quickly. And I'll explain. There's like a fog on my camera. Whatever. I just made it worse, actually. Now my camera's glitching. We got in a big argument, one day, weeks ago, before I started, doing really well. Huge argument. We're both, like, talking about stuff, and I, like, saw her call, like, one of her family members and, like, admit some stuff to them. And, like, you don't realize how afraid you are to be in love with someone because you really felt like no one's cared in your life. And you've never felt this feeling, this passion you have before. I mean, it may be a bit different for me because I don't really get passionate emotions like that a lot. Very calm, nonchalant person most of the time. I don't even get angry that often, or very much, or very little, as a matter of fact. Like, I get frustrated sometimes, but that's about it. Just, you don't realize how hard it is to really love someone because you don't build those connections. I think I didn't think I really avoided building those connections even with my family. But, like, seeing her admit that stuff showed me that she's still strong. Because I was the one that was trying to call off the relationship. Like, that night I was like, we can't do this anymore, we can't keep going. But, like, seeing her resolve and telling that family member all that she said, it was, and having to deal with it, like, that person is annoying as hell, but, like, it really made me realize how strong it is, like, how, like, because the reason I was scared to love her is because I'm scared of losing. She has some issues that could lead to her not doing so well later. I'm sort of scared of having to. Not because I, like, can't. It's just that, I don't know. Seeing someone you love deteriorate, something you have to sort of come to terms with, I guess. And have hope that help them get better instead of worse. After that argument, I like came to my senses, because when I get angry, I have breakdowns. I realize things. I think after that something in me snapped, and I realized, like, I really do love her and want to be with her. I'm a little crazy, you know, if you couldn't tell. So knowing someone for like almost 9 months, being in love with them is kind of crazy. But I gotta say, I think, I don't think, I know, we're moving in together soon. Other, as people do. It's a nice realization that you actually love someone, truly. I feel like had this, like, false sense of love where I feel like everyone actually felt it and I was just, like, in a corner alone. I never felt strong, passionate feelings about any of my family. Like, I felt something, like, with some of my, like, very close friends, but nothing, like, truly, like, that just made me want to burst from the inside until, like, very recently. And it's like, I've never gotten to like experience. Hold on, let me try to fix this camera. There's a crack in it. I don't think that's what's causing. There. Little shadow. Or... I think I've realized, like, I think that night I realized, like, how far I'd be willing to go for her. And that sort of realization sort of, like, made me realize that I need to be the best for her that I can be. Which I've never had, like, that feeling for with most people. I don't want to appear the best I can for people, because that's notoriously gone wrong for me. So I'm not only scared of like loving someone, focusing, but also scared of just simply, you know, wanting to help someone, I guess. Wanting to be with someone. Wanting to spend all the time with, you know. A lot of people will look at this and go, I've never felt. These seem like pretty, you know, basic things. Why are you explaining them like they're so complex? Just I've never felt them. A lot of people older than me, that anyone that's older than me that may watch it, you may look at this as like stupid because maybe you've experienced it a lot in your life, or maybe I'm weird and like a lot of people look at this, but there will be people out there that will understand what I'm saying. And to you, I'm sorry that you couldn't ever trust anyone enough to love them or care about anyone enough. Sometimes it's mental, you know? Like I have mental blockages, like mental issues that block me from being able to feel like a level of passion, a certain level of passion. Like I just have a mental block. Like when I can get passionate to a certain extent sometimes, but I can't really get passionate. I don't have the energy for it. Like I can't just like scream at the top of my lungs. I actually have trouble getting too loud. Like I always mumbled growing up because I was like just incapable of speaking louder than a few, like 10 decibels, you know. I don't know if 10 decibels is a lot or a little. I'm not a video expert, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know. Basically, I was quiet, and you know, part of me is also scared of losing my solidarity. Because I've been such an alone person for such a long time, I take such comfort in being alone. There's the fear of losing solidarity, the fear of losing the person. Because, you know, I've never felt like I've kept those very close relationships for a long time. Like, people I care about disappear eventually, you know? Or they stop caring about me in some way. Or they don't realize that they've hurt me in some unchanging, destructive way that I'll never get back my mental state from. So, yeah. Love is hard. And figuring out you are in love is probably the hardest part about it. The rest of it is, well, just being in love and knowing that you are, I guess. That's the easier part. There are some harder parts like losing the person you love and stuff like that, but the hardest part, I think, in the general area of the beginning is figuring out and identifying that you are in love. In other news of the vlog, because I'm kind of done with this section, apparently I've been identified as acting like a white person, whatever that means. My best friend, who is like Hispanic partially, less than 25% or something, I can't remember. Well, I can kind of remember. He's never had an actual official test. He just goes off his dad's test, which is like stupid because it's not his test. He doesn't know how much. It's whatever. Anyways, she called him. His partner called him. Got mad at him. Called him white, which he kinda is, like to a certain extent. Not saying he's just a white guy, but he's like a white. He's like, he has like a, like, I don't like the idea that there's like a certain white acting way, like white tendencies, but he would be the definition of like white tendencies if he was like put down to his base form. But like his grandparents are white, so, and they raised him, so it makes sense. His dad was adopted by his grandparents. That's not the point though. The point is, his partner also called me and my partner white, which is weird because I'm not white. I guess she means like we act white. Well, she said that we act white, which is, I don't know what acting white means. Like, I definitely had like, what does she mean by like white? Like, she's saying I'm not black. Like, oh, is she just stereotyping? Essentially, on what I'm trying to get at is she just stereotyped what a black person should be and said I don't fit the mold, which isn't true. A, and B, doesn't matter anyways, because we are not monolithic. No group of people is monolithic, so it's not like, you know, she can realistically, like, I probably had, like, if we say blackness is like, if we give it like a racist ideal of what blackness is, then I have lived more of like that life than her probably, other than, you know, her having her own like mental issues and stuff. But I probably have lived, and I was a sheltered kid, don't get me wrong, like I wasn't running the streets, but I have a good idea that I had like better than her. And my partner has had to, she's had that experience like times 50, right? That idealized experience. Not like her, like white racist people being like, oh, they steal and stuff. Not that, but like, you know, what, you get the idea. It's not important. But I don't, it's a sort of a racist talking point that some black people also fall into, where they call like a black person like, oh, like if you get like an Uncle Sam, Uncle Tom or something that's like, the white man is the greatest thing alive on this planet, yes, then like that person is clearly like an actual racist and like a piece of shit. Like, call that person like, you know, a raccoon. And, but like, I still think we shouldn't even take those people's like blackness away from them just because they're capitulating to the white supremacist attitudes of the Western world. We shouldn't shun their black, like make them not black just because they capitulate to it. I think it's them taking a defensive posture at the end of the day. I think that it will get them more most of the time. Sometimes people are just dumb. But like, call them what they are, but you know, they're not white, you know. At the end of the day, they're not. And just the same as I am. Like, sure, I may have like what some people may perceive as non-blackness, which basically just means I speak well, and I don't know, I just speak well. That's pretty much it. That's the only like white, like I that's the only thing that people can really say about me. I say nigga. I mean, do I have to say it like 5 times fast to like prove my blackness? I don't know. It's so dumb. But like, you know, I think when you're light skinned, especially, like all kids have to do this. All black kids, colored kids of color have to do this. But I think, especially light skin like kids, especially if they're fully black and not like me where I'm like half black, half white. Like, they have to deal with coming. Actually, I think it would be actually harder for half black, half white because they actually have the white part. It's sort of coming to terms with their blackness. Not coming to terms in the sense that where they're like, oh my god, I'm realizing that I'm actually black. I mean, it's sort of like that, but it's sort of like you have to go through a phase of like you have an understanding that you're black, but you don't realize how black is perceived until you like actually see it when you're on your own. And you're like, oh, I may be light skinned, but I'm still black. Like, you know, you've had an easier time getting into white audiences because of your lighter skin, but at the end of the day, you're still like black, like the black kid at the end of the day. Like, you may be even mixed, but you're still like the black kid, or even partially black, right? Got any melanin in your skin, and like African American ancestry, right? It's so weird because like you can't even determine race on that like particular like DNA type thing either. That doesn't really work for race issues because there are black kids that are like half black, half white. That literally have like half and half, and like they appear fully as white simply because, you know, they didn't get those melanated genetics or whatever. They may not even gotten the hair, so they just look like a white person. Those people do not face any of the discrimination of being black. Even the one parent that is black, like being around them probably wouldn't get them the level of discrimination of an actual like black kid, even a very light-skinned black, right? They don't have to experience that, but they are black, right? They do experience some things tendentially from their parent, but they aren't really, because realistically they're not facing any of the issues of the black people. But black isn't just struggle, it's also ancestry and other things. Also, black is just a dumb term came up with in like the 30s or something, right? Just to denote whatever, you know, the rich white people said. That's the bad people. Those people over there, they came from Africa. The blacks, get them gone, you know. It's stupid. It's stupid. But it is what it is. I'm gonna go shave and go to the gym now. Thanks for watching today's vlog. It was a very good vlog. A very good vlog. One of the best. I swear it was one of the best vlogs you've ever seen. Alright now. Bye-bye.